Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard. My name is Captain X, and in today's video, we are going to help you guys understand how to get more kills in Warzone 2. A lot of people are struggling from Warzone 1 to 2 to adapt to this very different style of game, and that's what we're going to do in today's video. So number one, you got to land in a hot spot if you want to go for high kill games. Hydroelectric has been my personal favorite, but Observatory is a close second. I love landing in this spot in particular in this pool of water because there is one of these stashes or caches, whatever they're called. And now I've got $3,500. I've got a satchel, mortar, and a gun. So I'm going to go over. I looted a P90, so I've already got my SMG. So I'm going to buy my long range gun. And I already am in great shape super early in the game thanks to that cache. Now, I have no information of where everyone or where anyone is. So I'm going to work towards the bounty to see if I can get some information on where teams are. And I'm going to spot a guy right on this rooftop. And immediately when I spot him, we slow down. That is one of the big things to do in this game is once you find where people are, slow down and assess the fight. Try to put yourself in a good position. So I'm working to get high ground, and I'm going to try to play off this angle and just barely expose myself from the corner of this wall here. I'm going to get him down. I'm going to try to go up above on the high ground so I can get an angle to finish. This guy had a riot shield on his back, so couldn't quite finish him, but he ends up dying anyways. Now, I unfortunately completely ran out of ammo during this, so I am going to work over to loot this guy. But notice how I'm just taking my time. I'm on the rooftop, and we're just kind of surveying. High ground is your best friend in this game. It wasn't as big of a deal in Warzone 1 because you could always kind of finesse and stuff. We have to utilize high ground and positioning in this game. It is the #1 thing we have to do. So we're going to get the RPK reloaded, and we're going to move up working to this bounty. But as I'm surveying, I spot some movement, and there's a guy in the street. Switch to the RPK, but I'm at a bad spot. I am in the open. I need to get to cover. So we're going to utilize these barrels here. My teammate threw a snapshot, and I'm looking this way. Here it comes. Going to get some shots on. There's immediately a guy to my right. I get him down, but notice how I am always staying behind cover. I am always behind these barrels. Always safe. I can't quite get this guy down, so now's my time to push up. And again, slow down though, survey the area, figure out what I'm doing, trying to listen, trying to figure out where the heck these guys are, going slow around these corners. Bam, here's one, instantly switch to look for the second one. I don't have to get the thirst right away because he's not going to self, even if he had a self right, it's not going to self right away. I have a few seconds. So reload. I unfortunately do not have any plates, so I'm trying to play this very carefully. Not really sure where this last guy is, but don't hear any movement. I'm gonna go over, be a good teammate, and res my other teammate. So we're getting him up. I do hear footsteps, but I'm not sure exactly what's going on. My other teammate is gonna end up getting this guy down. So at this point, and this guy comes running out of nowhere, no audio cue. I had no plates. He had a 3-plate. Unfortunately, it just is what it is. If I had some plates in that situation, very strong chance I easily win that gunfight because I had good centering and I wasn't sprinting or anything like that. All good though. That gunfight is dealt with, and now it's time to kind of regain ourselves, get some plates, get plated back up. Now, big thing coming up here. At 10 seconds into the first circle, or before the first circle starts to close, strongholds are going to open, and this is going to be absolutely vital because there is a stronghold that's going to spawn right next to us. I would say if, let's say you're in Hydro or Observatory and there is no strongholds by you, I would prioritize always going to a stronghold, getting a vehicle, and going there as fast as possible because strongholds are going to give you your perks. In this game, perks are extremely powerful, and I need to get my other gun as well. Plus, what's going to be incredibly important in this game you're going to see is that constant UAV I'm going to get from the stronghold because I'm going to have constant information on people because of this. Now, in every stronghold, there is going to be 2 of these white chests. They're going to give you lots of streaks, tons of money, but also keep in mind, if there is a building with those orange flags, that means this is a potential stronghold. But if it's not an active stronghold, meaning it doesn't have the actual like stronghold, the bots and everything around it, you can still go in and loot those white chests once all the strongholds is open. So keep an eye out for those. Very good to have. You know, you can use that to buy your guns and possibly your loadout depending on what mode you're in. Now, keep an eye on the minimap here. We have a lot of action going on here. There's solid dots, meaning real players, and then there's also the bot, the non-solid dots, which are the AI. Now, the strongholds, they don't have windows. This is tricky because I can't jump out. I have to go out one of the main doors. So I'm going to end up mortaring myself And that's going to kind of push these guys out and away. And it's also going to get rid of some of the bots on us. I'm going to zoom in on the minimap because the minimap TACMAC is sometimes like not very accurate. You have to zoom in and really see where everyone is. So these guys, I have a whole team kind of surrounding me. Now, I'm running High Alert. I'm running the Commando perk package. High Alert will only trigger on real players. This is a real player right here. And I'm going to try to use this window to shoot through, but this gas is not letting me do anything I want. Now, I am 1 HP. Watch how I pre-fire this. As soon as he opens the door, I'm going to start pre-firing and anticipating because I cannot take any more damage in that situation. So I'm hearing proc chat of this guy going on. There's still lots of action going on. Trying to get plated up, reset this fight, and figure out what is going on. And one of our teammates is going to go down. Now, you can look out these windows. It is very strong to look out these windows and shoot out of. You just can't jump out of them. So, going to go work around here on the UAV. The UAV is finally cleaned up a little bit, and we've got people on the buildings to our to our side over here. Now, I'm going to take high ground. Again, whenever you have an opportunity to take high ground, take the high ground. I'm going to dive over so I can make this jump. And I'm going to just see movement. And I just start shooting at the movement, and I somehow get it down. I didn't think I would, but watch this. This is very important here. Watch how I'm going to dive and immediately pull my chute. That way I can make this jump, and then now jump into here before they can finish this res. Very important that you understand how to do that dive and then immediately pull your chute, because you can make jumps like this that you otherwise would not make. If you haven't already in your settings, make sure you're changing your invert, dive, and slide behavior. So make sure you're turning that to inverted, the dive and slide behavior. It is linked in my settings video if you have not done that already. Now, one of our teammates is down. I'm going to buy him back when I start hearing shots over here. And I saw some shots. So I know there's a full team over here. I'm going to be able to fry this guy with the RPK here, and we're going to get the finish. And I'm, again, slowly coming up over. I come up with the PA to hit a PA, and I'm able to get this guy downed and finished before he gets away. One rule of thumb with Precision Airstrikes. Really, you should only be using them to thirst a down. You shouldn't be using them when someone's not down, because usually people can get away. This guy is going to get a buyback, and he's running away, but watch how I slow down here. Slow down. Bam. I had no idea he was there, but every time I come around a corner, my goal is to slow down and not sprint through the corner, because that is usually the situation dying. Got a little bit of a cluster going on here, but between me and my teammates, we're able to kind of get this team taken care of, and we're able to finally buy our other team back. I'm also going to buy a UAV. Very important early game if you have cash flow to be buying these UAVs before they're bought up and they're gone. Now, I still have the UAV from the stronghold on the other side, but this new UAV I just popped has 2 players on this side over by the gas station. So I'm going to ping roughly where they are. That way I have an idea of, even when this UAV runs out, I still know roughly where these guys are. And we're going to start working over here. UAVs only last about 20 seconds this game. I believe it's a little bit shorter than what Warzone 1 was. So 1 is going deep right, and I'm looking for him. And I think in this moment, I think this guy actually just jumped in the water, and I didn't see it in the actual game. So again, I'm going very slowly because these guys could have moved up by now, listening, and then bam, we see him switch to the RPK, get this guy down, and we're going to thirst him with the throwing knife. Now, I am running the Commando perk package currently, which includes fast hands. And I think that fast hands is very important because a lot of the guns have a very slow weapon switch time. So it's like having Amped from Warzone 1. It also has High Alert, which in my opinion is the strongest ultimate perk, or perk 4 right now. Just because, you know, there's so many times in this game you have no idea someone there. My teammate actually might be able to hear, he just called High Alert somewhere on the bridge. So we're going back over again, trying to get high ground. I see this guy running away, and between me and my teammate, we're able to get him killed. Unfortunately, though, one of our other teammates did go down in the process. And by the way, this is our community games that we do. Normally do this like every other week or so, where I'm just playing with YouTube members. A lot of fun. If you want to come check out the streams, highly encourage you to do so. And by the way, if you find these videos helpful, consider subscribing for more stuff like this. Do lots of educational stuff, along with best loadout settings, all that good stuff. So at this point, we're trying to figure out where someone is, and we don't really know, but one of my teammates called out there was a buyback on the other side. So the other buyout hydro, and you can kind of just barely see the smoke ahead. The other buyout hydro is at the gas station on the side kind of towards Al Mazrah City. I am going to split some cash here. I have way more cash than the rest of my teammates, so that way if I were to die or something like that, they have res money to buy me back, etc. Always good to kind of divvy it up when possible. So we are working over this way. I still have the UAV from the stronghold, but it's just pinging the bots. It's pinging the hot solid dots, which means not real players. Whenever you have water, always try to use water to your advantage and swim, because when you're deep underwater, you are invisible. Again, slowly assessing the situation, trying to see, don't know where anyone is, and bam, I see this guy switch to the RPK. This guy gets deleted because I hit headshots. This part is very crucial. I'm trying to play it up and listen. Bam, I heard glass to my right. So I'm going to go up behind here, finish the play behind cover, have my Fennec out, get this guy, and now there are shots coming. There are shots coming from here to my right. So as soon as I come around, we're going to look immediately there and find this guy. That's going to be 3 very quick downs. I think my teammate might have stole one of those. Now, FYI, if you're used to watching my content, I normally play with a hand cam. The reason I had a monitor cam going in this game and not a hand cam is I broke the mount on my ceiling for the hand cam. So that will get replaced here soon. But I thought I would just put the camera on the monitor just to try to prove I don't wall hack like a lot of people say I do. Anyways, we're going to interrogate him, because interrogating people does give you legal wall hacks. And one of his teammates is going to ping way over there out in oil when I interrogated him. Small tip, I made a short on this. When you interrogate people, don't kill them instantly, as long as they don't have a self-revive, obviously, because it's going to keep pinging their teammates whenever you've interrogated someone, and they cannot bleed out once you've interrogated them. Now, I'm looking at the mini-map here, and you're going to see I'm starting to get some solid dots ping, and that is back by our stronghold, because that is going to last literally all game, this constant UAV, if they're in maybe like a 100-foot radius or so of that stronghold. So we have the bot heli coming down, but we also have a lot of players coming down. And as I approach this, guess what I'm trying to do? I'm trying to approach it with high ground. Always, always, always try to approach fights with high ground. I'm also equipping one of my Precision Airstrikes in case I want to use that. And I see this guy, I'm trying to figure out what level he is, and I see his head sticking out, and he just gets fried with the Fennec. Hopefully it gets nerfed here in season 2 that is just around the corner. Now, I should have interrogated this guy, to be honest. I don't believe he had a self-res. Should have interrogated him, left him up, because I would have got constant wall hacks. So, we're starting to see people move and try to get to cover. I am making sure I am moving when nobody is looking at me, and I'm trying to be as quick as possible to go from cover to cover. Me and my teammate are going to get this guy that's out alone, and then now I'm looking to the right because I've got 2 solid dots hanging in here. Now, it's very confusing to try to see where they are, what levels are, because of all the icons and stuff on this map. So I'm going in very slowly, and watch how I come up here, and watch how when I turn the corner and center here. Now, I didn't know this guy was going to be up here, but I assumed they're up here. They know we're coming. They're going to be watching it. I didn't have perfect centering here, but because I started to aim the gun, I can just flick and fry him with the Fennec. Now, this guy comes around the corner here, and I'm going to miss a lot of shots here. I honestly choke shots here, but watch how I was out of ammo with my Fennec, so I switched the RPK out, and we're just going to start frying. We're just letting it go to see if he's stupid enough to basically walk into my bullets. So now I can come down, I can reset, but as he comes down, now small tip here, when someone is, if you are in the middle of a plate, which I am in, if you hit that play button, triangle or Y, whatever it is on your controller, if you hit it one time, it's going to stop your plate and bring out the same gun you had, which I hit it once, bam, I bring the Fennec back out. I'm able to, between me and my teammates, we're able to get that guy down. Now look at the minimap here. Always be checking your minimap, especially when you have this UAV. There is a whole team running up from oil here, and I'm trying to not overexpose myself, try to see where they are. We're going to get one down, and instantly I'm going to flick left. I'm not going to worry about getting the finish right away. I'm going to instantly try to go for the other one. I don't quite get it, but now I'm going to go ahead and use my PA. I probably could have finished this guy with my RPK, but the PA is going to prevent those guys. It's going to force those guys away from that PA. So 1 is going to split left, 2 are going to split right. I was trying to get high ground here, but the game would just not let me mantle. So between me and my teammate, we're going to get this guy down, but now I've got to focus on these others 2. My thought is they're going to be coming in trying to wrap here, but I'm going to hear a ladder here. I hear the ladder, so I'm going to jump out here. We're going to get this guy. Now, the other guy I had saw in the UAV previously, he had an up arrow, meaning he's above me on my roof. And a lot of these buildings, excuse me, in Hydro have these openings here, right? So I was expecting him to push down or look down here. And you'll see I actually shot at that heli because I was just waiting for movement and I was waiting to react to that movement. So I reacted to that heli movement. So trying to see, eventually my teammate kind of hits a flank on him and is able to get him down. Now I look out this way and you might be able to just barely see. There's a guy way out here flying in, and seeing that he's flying in on the very edge of the zone, my thought process is, okay, maybe this guy died out here earlier. Maybe there's a loadout here. This is a free hold because he's on the edge of zone. I'm going to go get up. I'm going to play off this ridge of sand here. This guy gets fried. The RPK, please. I hope they nerf it. It is unfair how good it is. The other guy, we get absolutely a one shot here. I try to go for a wall bang, but don't. So now we're going to push up with the Fennec. And I'm just looking to see where this is. Again, see how I go straight to cover. I'm not just running straight ahead. I go to cover to play off of. I'm slowing down. And then here he comes now. Gonna get him one shot. Gonna take my time though. Reload. And when I come in, watch. See these lasers? As soon as I saw these lasers, he's running the dual pistols. I know he's to my left. And you got to be careful with those pistols, because even though I was fully plated and he was one shot, he could have fried me with those things because they kill incredibly fast. Now, this is kind of the part in the game where I'm realizing I am on 19 kills with 54 people up. This is like world record pace. I think world record is like high 40s or 50. I mean, this was crazy pace. So a guy is going to be landing in here to the right at Hydro. And actually, I remember I made the call out to my teammates. I was like, yo, will you guys let me get this one? Because this is when it's starting to set in. I am on mind-boggling pace right now. I am on easy PR pace. So we're going to go up here and we're going to try to billy goat up here. And I see him coming down. And the Fennec actually has really good range. It just has a little bit of recoil. But notice how I get high alerted. When I get high alerted, I got high alert even before this. Instead of me looking and trying to challenge, my thought process is immediately get to cover. Don't challenge, get to cover first. The last thing you want to do is be out in the open. You always, always, always want to prioritize cover. My teammates end up getting this guy down. Now, we have one of our teammates that just popped a UAV, and we have a lot of people ahead of us. But I've got the zone coming, but I do have a minute 40 on zone. Now, my thought process here was to get ahead and get up and ahead of these guys into the zone and fight off these rocks and hills here. And I see one here in the open. I'm like, oh, I have time. But there's this guy that I'm shooting at, and there's also this guy on the roof. These two are going to laser me. And as soon as I realized that there was two, I instantly dive and go to cover. But I landed in an area where the guy on top still had an angle. And then this guy hits a god nade, and bam. So unfortunately, we are now straight to the gulag. So very frustrating, but have the gulag. I didn't burn it earlier. We can regain and get back into the action. Now, Deagles. I am not a fan of the Deagles. By far, I'm most confident with the X12s, but you got to work with what you got. My route is I always go center. I always peek off this edge because I like to be. A lot of people like to play right here. Once I clear that, I work up high ground. And then I see this guy down low to my left, and I'm going to end up getting him down, immediately prone because the other guy was shooting me. And now I am trying to look, and I don't know what it was. I thought this was a person, but then I realized he's over here. And luckily, my teammate's going to help me out here, and I actually get a decent teammate in gulag. So now we're at 20 kills. We are flying back in. Unfortunately, all but I think two of my teammates are still alive, and then bam, the last two go down. So I'm not going to try to land back on my stuff, but there's a loadout very nearby. So we're going to land on that, and I'm going to get my non-overkill class. I'm going to get my RPK with the pistol, with the X13 auto pistols. X13's crazy good pistols right now. Don't have the range of like a Fennec or a Lockman, but up close they are nasty because I want to make sure I get the better perks. I want to have the high alert commando package. So now at this point, my goal is, okay, we got to regain. I got to loot up. I got to get stuff because I don't have ammo. I don't have a 3-plate. I was trying to get high ground there and assess the situation, but my guy just did not want to mantle. I think there is a ladder over here to my right that I probably could have got on. And as I start kind of looking back at the general area of where those guys were, we're going to keep looting. And because my biggest threat is, okay, those guys were close. Now I hear enemy soldier incoming. I immediately start going back to where that loadout was. It was back right over this ridge because I'm thinking this guy's going to land in gas, and then bam, we spot him. Now, instead of full running it, I'm going to slow down and see if he comes out. And right when I started to go again is when he comes out, and we're going to get him down. But now I'm getting mortared. So now, unfortunately, 21 kills, 43 players up. We are still on crazy pace, but I am the only one alive. My other teammate is in Gulag. I'm going to get hit with a second mortar. So you already know at this point that someone else knows where I am and that they are, I'm in a horrible spot because I have zone on my edge. If I run out, I might die to this mortar. I think in hindsight, I probably should have beelined it straight ahead of me the way I'm looking here and tried to see if I could wrap wide, because I just had no idea where this guy was and I thought he was going to push in. I thought he was very close to me, so I'm going to go ahead and smoke, and then I see this guy is just across the way waiting for me. Trying to get plated back up here. I'm getting high alerted constantly because my head's peeking over, and I make a dumb mistake of trying to loot this. I'm trying to use the smoke, but there's like 2 or 3 guys that were just waiting for me, and unfortunately there is just really nothing I could have done besides hindsight going to a different loadout. But I just didn't. I thought that one that was closer would have been enough out of the way, but in hindsight I should have went to the other ones. Now my teammate is still alive, and what I was telling him at this point is I was like, hey, I am on a crazy pace right now. Please do whatever is possible to get me back. And what he's going to end up doing is he's going to end up working towards this safe cracker on the very northern edge of the map. He ends up looting it. He ends up getting enough money without even completing the strong or the safe cracker. And he's going to get a car. And my goal was like, there was one buy in zone. So I was like, if you got to do this, you got to make it to this buy. Now, unfortunately, he got out of the truck. He never should have got out of the truck. It's all good. I'm not upset at him whatsoever from making the decision. I think he was worried about, you know, everyone was going to know where he was with the truck, and a guy is going to pop out right in front of him right here, but he gets the kill. Now this ends up being a little bit of a mistake by him. The buy is in zone, and his thought process, I think, was I just got to go. But he ended up taking an incredibly long route there instead of taking the shortest route, and he's getting focused at this point. So really, there probably wasn't anything for him to have done there besides, I think, maybe staying in the vehicle. And unfortunately, that is the game. 21 kills, had still over 40 up when we died there. Really frustrating, but at the end of the day, we were on crazy pace, and I still think there's a lot to learn from this. And even if I just kind of play it safe and made it to the end, I would have almost guaranteed had a 30 bomb, but fortunately, it's not what happened. So guys, I hope you found today's video helpful. If you did, consider leaving a like and subscribing. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.